Wordsworth. It was an April morning. Fresh and clear, the rivulet, delighting in its strength, ran with a young man's speed, and yet the voice of waters which the winter had supplied was softened down into a vernal tone. The spirit of enjoyment and desire, and hopes and wishes from all living things went circling like a multitude of sounds. The budding groves seemed eager to urge on the steps of June, as if their various hues were only hindrances that stood between them and their object. But meanwhile prevailed such an entire contentment in the air, that every naked ash and tardy tree, yet leafless, showed as if the countenance with which it looked on this delightful day were native to the summer. Up the brook I roamed in the confusion of my heart, alive to all things and forgetting all. At length I to a sudden turning came in this continuous glen, where down a rock the stream, so ardent in its course before, sent forth such sallies of glad sound, that all which I till then had heard appeared the voice of common pleasure. Beast and bird, the lamb, the shepherd's dog, the linnet and the thrush vied with this waterfall and made a song, which, while I listened, seemed like the wild growth or like some natural produce of the air that could not cease to be. Green leaves were here, but 'twas the foliage of the rocks, the birch, the yew, the holly, and the bright green thorn, with hanging islands of resplendent firs, and on a summit, distant a short space, by any who should look beyond the dell, a single mountain cottage might be seen. I gazed and gazed, and to myself I said, "Our thoughts at least are ours, and this wild nook, my Emma, I will dedicate to thee." Soon did the spot become my other home, my dwelling, and my out-of-doors abode. And of the shepherds who have seen me there, to whom I sometimes in our idle talk have told this fancy, 2 or 3 perhaps, years after we are gone and in our graves, when they have cause to speak of this wild place, may call it by the name of Emma's Dell. Ode composed on a May morning, by William Wordsworth. While from the purpling east departs the star that led the dawn, blithe Flora from her couch upstarts, for May is on the lawn. A quickening hope, a freshening glee foreran the expected power, whose first drawn breath from bush and tree shakes off that pearly shower. All nature welcomes her, whose sway tempers the year's extremes, who scattereth lustres o'er noonday, like morning's dewy gleams, while mellow warble, sprightly trill the tremulous heart excite, and hums the balmy air to still the balance of delight. Time was, blessed power, when youth and maids at peep of dawn would rise, and wander forth in forest glades thy birth to solemnize. Though mute the song, to grace the rite untouched the hawthorn bough, thy spirit triumphs o'er the slight, man changes, but not thou. Thy feathered lieges bill and wings in love's disport employ. Warmed by thy influence, creeping things awake to silent joy. Queen art thou still, for each gay plant where the slim wild deer roves, and served in depths where fishes haunt their own mysterious groves. Cloud-piercing peak and trackless heath instinctive homage pay, nor wants the dim-lit cave a wreath to honour thee, sweet May. Where cities fanned by thy brisk airs behold a smokeless sky, their puniest flower-pot nursling dares to open a bright eye. And if on this thy natal morn the pole from which thy name hath not departed stands forlorn of song and dance and game, still from the village green a vow aspires to thee addressed, wherever peace is on the brow or love within the breast. Yes, where love nestles thou canst teach the soul to love the more. Hearts also shall thy lessons reach that never loved before. Stripped is the haughty one of pride, the bashful freed from fear, while rising like the ocean tide in flow the joyous year. Hush, feeble lyre, weak words refuse the service to prolong. To yon exulting thrush the muse entrusts the imperfect song. His voice shall chant in accents clear throughout the livelong day, till the first silver star appear, the sovereignty of May.
Surprised by Joy, Impatient as the Wind, by William Wordsworth. Surprised by joy.